We are live NBA rundown, runpuresports.com. I'm here with Travis Mangone. Unfortunately, Travis, I think Tyler got beamed up last night. He's on the Starship Enterprise somewhere after we beamed all over the Knicks. How are you feeling today? We did the playback last night. That was a lot of fun. My first chance talking to glaucoma in a while. And I told you, Mitch Robert captain was a mistake, as I had 5 fires in my lineup and couldn't even make cash. Talk to me about the NBA and how things have gone with you, Travis.
Yeah, yesterday Kevin Huerter could have done a little bit more, but overall it was fine. We had a good night, I think, overall. My showdown didn't do great, but like I said, main slate was pretty solid, so can't complain there. But yeah, we got I opened up the slate and I was like, Reggie Jackson's a top value today. What's going on here? I mean, it's definitely a day without some value. So, I mean, we'll see if things open up. It's early. We'll talk about it. We'll break it all down. I like these slates. They were kind of refreshing. We don't have them too often. So, hey, I'm excited to see how this slate shakes out, spread. It should be fun to talk about it. And we got some decent games today.
Yeah, I said, if you're really good like you are, right, you'd rather play 6-on-6 than 4-on-4, right? Gives you more chance, rather than giving me those 2 free squares. Then I only need to get one right and jump ahead of you in those standings. So let's dive right in because we know the people want the winners. If Tyler does show up, right, he gets beamed back to the NBA rundown. We'll bring him on and we'll need him a little bit. And we'll try not to engage the little smiley backwards hat in the face too much. But corpulent teenager, I mean, I'll be laughing about that till Christmas time. The Portland Trailblazers are +9. They're in Philadelphia. They're taking on the 76ers. The total is 233. Right now, I'm running my numbers. And you know what I like to do? It's almost like guessing the lines in NFL before you look at them, right? Just guess what my projections are going to say. I'm assuming my projections are going to take the Blazers. The Philadelphia 76ers is their first game home off the road trip, and they couldn't be happier. 4-1 on a road trip, a win in Philadelphia. Of course, they embarrassed me on Tuesday night when I took the T-Wolves over them in what I thought was a schedule loss, fifth game in 7 nights. Now they're back home, but first game back home, sometimes some fatigue shows up. It's interesting. In my projections, I treat that like not a full home court advantage. Trailblazers have been tough, though. Their most recent game, they lost 115-93 against the Boston Celtics. I like the over there, but the Trailblazers were the reason I did not get there. It's pretty much all Dame right now. The team's not as balanced as you think, and I keep getting fooled by their general manager, thinking that they're putting together a nice little squad around Dame, and they keep falling short. Travis, they're 9-point favorites tonight. Talk to me about this side because I do think it's an interesting conversation, and then of course give us the DFS breakdown.
Yeah, I'm torn on this spot. I mean, the Blazers, I don't think they're that good of a team, and like the Sixers, I think they are a good team. They're not like the best in the league, but man, everything just rides on Dame. Like when I think DFS wise, this is where I normally typically struggle. It's like, well, yeah, if Dame crushes, like the game's close, right? But like if he doesn't, then it's an absolute blowout, and like he gets 30 DK points.
And you need him to like crush, like a 38-point output, like just not like normal a good game.
Yeah,
a lot of flaws
I'm fine. I'm fine with fading him DFS wise. If I had to pick a side, it's probably just taking the Sixers side and moving on. But you know me, spread. I'm not betting on the Sixers. I'm just got other games on this slate. I can bet on something else. So I'm not betting this game. And DFS wise, I'm not in love with it, right? I mean, I think Harden's fine as a spend at guard if you want to. I think Embiid's fine as a spend. Not priorities, though. I mean, we'll obviously keep diving in DFS-wise, but they're more like fillers that, like, kind of fit if I, like, find the value plays and kind of land on those pieces. But I think there's other options I'd rather go to in the mid-tier that we'll kind of discuss in some other games. So this isn't really a game I'm keying in on spread. I mean, not to like be like short and quick, but it's just tough. Simons could be back too for this game. That's another thing to note. The Sixers, we know they're a little bit healthier, and they had some guys sit for some of the games, which drove up some of the price tags as well. And now they're healthier, so it's just a little bit tougher. So I'm overall, for the most part, out on this game unless it's grabbing one of like the Sixers studs and Harden or Embiid. It's just that's the way it kind of goes today.
If I was in utility and I had enough money, who do you think's better? I mean, Embiid's going to get more raw points. Hard, a little bit of savings.
If I had to pick, I'd lean Embiid, right? But the price does matter. And center, there's nothing clear cut today. The one debate you have to make with center, which is going to be interesting to talk about, is if you spend up at the center position today, is it Jokic or Embiid? I mean, they're in the same situation almost. They're in good spots against matchups like you like to target Portland centers, right? You also like to target the Spurs with centers, but you also worry about the blowout factor, right? They're very similar scenarios today to be concerned about. Like you could see Jokic midway through the third have 65 and then end with 68, right? And same with Embiid. And of course, I'd sign up for that. But what I'm getting at is you could just see these guys cruising in the first half and then kind of like fall flatter in the second half. So worth calling that.
I'm looking over this right now. I hate that who I think is the top spend on the board, but we'll get to that later. But if you could probably figure out if you watched the show for a while, if there's a spend up that I know is right and I don't want to do it, I'm looking at this.
I'm curious to hear who you say it is, actually, because I'm not
who would I hate playing the most, right?
Let me see every single game. I need to see the games physically.
It's gonna hurt me to do it.
Oh, Anthony Davis?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't think he's gonna be a for sure spend. I mean, one of the issues you're gonna have with this slate spread is it's gonna be more because Reggie Jackson is Reggie Jackson is already popping as a pretty good value. And that's by going more balanced. We just don't have value, right? That's so these studs are for instance, when you have value everywhere, right? When you have just all these 3K and 4K options, you sometimes look at the slate and you go, I thought SGA was going to be 10%. And he ends up being 25, right? And then you're like, why is Kuzma 15% and not 5%? You're not going to see as much ownership on the studs overall tonight. And I think you're going to see it more condensed on other options. And we'll get to it, but it looks like
because I think you can only put one in there.
Yeah, and Rudy Gobert looks like he's going to be a mid-range guy.
I love this slate already.
John Collins is popping up as a value. He's 4-2, and if I told you a month ago John Collins is 4-2, you'd be firing on that. But it's definitely not a comfortable
If you ship a full GPP with Gobert in the lineup, will you splurge on the jersey for me?
No, I will not buy the jersey. I will.
Even if you ship the full 100K or whatever, the top price tonight.
If it's because
of Gobert's got flames, if
it's because of him at low ownership, but he won't be the reason because he'll be at high owned, right? It's just he's gonna, unless it somehow changes, he's gonna have ownership. It's not I want to buy the jersey for the 5% guy that got it done in my lineup, right? Like JSU is buying a Kayvon Herter jersey, right? For that when he had that.
Well, that's just cool. I mean, you should just get one whether or not you ship the slate. I mean, about
that's totally.
I'm Clyde's not even in the chat today for the Herter love. I can't believe this.
Yeah, he's a big Malik Monk guy. I mean, you hate to see it.
Although Monk had a nice night last night.
Oh, did he? That's unfortunate.
Yeah. He was in the winning lineup.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in the winning lineup. At least for the $15, the $20 that I entered. Okay. So we're talking about a balanced build. And so, of course, we haven't talked about the slate beforehand, but I think that this is the game that I kind of want to grab the mid-range guys out of, at least a couple. The Atlanta Hawks -1.5. They're in Washington. They're taking on the Wizards. The total's 238. This is an interesting game. Travis, these two teams played 2 nights ago. It was in Washington, and the Wizards opened as 4.5 point dogs. We got it at 3.5 on the Run Pure Sports NBA playbook, but we were lucky to get the cover, right? I mean, it was a miraculous cover. We got a wide open 3 at the end of the game. I think we were even on the air for that one, right? When these two teams played, was that it? I think it was, right? They just threw it to, I can't even remember who. Regardless, we took the 3.5. We were lucky to get a cover, but they're running it back, right, Travis? And so the zigzag theory could kind of apply here tonight. Washington lost the first game. They're at home, so that bodes well for Washington. But another reason why I like this game for my balanced build mid-range guys, highest total on the board, 238, and I think there's a bunch of good options. Talk to me, first of all, about the side. I feel like the Hawks -1.5 is nice here. but I don't love it. I definitely could be persuaded. No plan on the total right now, but I'm interested. I think that I could have some interest in this game from DFS.
Yeah, this game is interesting DFS wise. Let me pull something up here because this was a game the other day that was like one of the best games on the slate, right? And it's not a good slate, so you could argue it could be one of the better games to go back to. Let's talk about DeJounte Murray's price, right? 7.7K. It's a really nice price tag, especially at a shooting guard position that, like, I don't know how much we're going to love it today. It's like Reggie Jackson's popping up. Devin Vassell. Like, do we trust Devin Vassell? Like, really? Like, I know the price at 5.6 seems good, but I think overall, like, a spend on Murray or Bradley Beal is not bad at all at shooting guard today. So I'm considering that. Just have to decide if you want to spend on that. I like Murray. I like Trae Young too at 9.3. He's someone else I'm definitely looking at today. DeAndre Hunter at 5K seems like a solid value you go back to. If you look, actually, let me go back and look. So DeAndre Hunter is projected around like 23, 24 DK points, right? And he failed in this spot recently. Let me pull up.
Well, because they just played 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, whatever that was.
So it's funny, Spread. You look at the projections now, and Hunter 2 days ago was at like 25, 24. Like people docked him down, and I think that's wrong. Like if you had him projected for that last game, why is it just not the same? Like it's the same situation. I'm not saying.
I'll tell you, when I'm projecting the scores for Run Pure, they always come out the same. That's why I believe the playoffs get hard, because I run a projection at the beginning and they're not going to change that much.
But the thing is, the thing I'm getting at though, Spread, is if DeAndre Hunter dropped 40 DK points last game, his projection would have went up a couple points. What I'm getting at is the projections are moving him down because of recency bias, in my opinion. I would adjust it up a little bit. Like, I don't think he's a bad play. Unless, let me just double check the minutes and like, just in case they did something weird last game that I'm not like thinking of. But because I assume Hunter played pretty solid minutes.
Yeah, I maybe I wasn't explaining. My point is that one game shouldn't move your projections at all.
I agree. Like, so I would not really adjust him too much. Like, and I'd maybe move him back up a little bit. Especially if you like remember like playing on Wednesday and you're like, well, his projection was a little bit higher, right? And I know the price is different. He was 4.5. Now he's 5K. John Collins is 4.2. He played pretty good in this matchup. John Collins is looking to be a little bit chalky. I want to know what the exact ownership is going to be, but you could make a really good case for him being an interesting fade. You could also make a good case for him being a play. I think the ownership is going to be key on him, so that's something I'm wanting to see in this spot. Again, Spread, I played Clint Capella last slate. Why wouldn't I play Clint Capella again, right? I mean,
I bet him for the double-double.
Yeah, I mean, the slate is a little different, but 6.5, I'm going to go back to the well on these Hawks. Like, I think they're good plays that you can go to. So yeah, I'm interested in the Hawks side. Washington's a little tough, right? I mean, Kyle Kuzma had a great game last game. You have to kind of play Washington roulette between Bradley Beal, Kyle Kuzma, Kristaps Porzingis. The problem though, Spread, is like, I feel like you kind of have to play roulette. Like I really do. Like I think you have to consider these guys. You can't completely ignore them. DeLon Wright too at 5.4. He's seen some pretty good minutes. He's seen minutes in the 30s. We got him. What do we got him projected for? He's at, I think Sites got him at 30. Last game he played 31.5, so that's encouraging. It does feel like DeLon Wright is like the guy now, right? Like it's his offense. I mean, not exactly, right? But he's technically the point guard for that team, right? Even though we know it was Kobe's team, Derek Fisher was the point guard for the Lakers. So DeLon Wright is the PG here. I think DeLon Wright is a pretty good play. Price is at 5.4. So yeah, if you want to take a chance on that, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind Denny off the bench at 4.3. I don't think it's a bad buy low spot on him, especially with lack of value on this slate. So I don't hate Denny Avia here. I definitely would consider him, but overall, it's a good DFS game. It's not one that's popping up a lot right now, but it's definitely a good game to get pieces up for sure. And even consider the game stack too. I don't think today's a bad day to condense on a game, and you can make a case to condense on this game for sure.
All right. Yeah, I definitely like this game as well. Great breakdown. Tyler, welcome to the show today.
What's up, bud?
What'd you think of the game last night?
It was a good one. You guys won it in the end.
Oh, man. I almost messaged you when like Malik Monk put him up 20 in the fourth quarter. I mean, in the second quarter, but I said, man, new NBA, like this is nothing. And then I was worried there towards the end, but nice to see. Anthony H says the beam is lit.
You guys can hang your banner for beating the Knicks.
We will, actually.
There you go, Tyler.
Bro,
Yeah,
I think we have Pacific
Harper.
Division championship banners in the arena.
I got a text from JT Hayes today about the Grizzlies winning. I said, congrats on your regular season win. You know, hang that up in the rafters, Dylan Brooks.
Well, at least he didn't call you.
That was the easiest game of yesterday. If you were betting the Warriors, I don't think you watched all year. The home away splits literally said the Warriors couldn't win a road game.
And the Grizzlies are like 20 and
yeah, literally if you put the home away splits for both teams right next to each other,
yeah,
both of them suck on the road.
It would have been like 14 and
both
46
of them are
or
top
something.
3 at home. Yeah, so it was like, why is the road team favored here? I couldn't believe that yesterday.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, enough of that. I just had to get that quick little victory lap in. Was very happy to see the end of that game. Tyler, I'm going to get your breakdown real quick on the first 2 games. We first talked about the Sixers and the Blazers. I'm throwing the projections in now. My guess is they're going to like the Blazers, but I don't think I'm necessarily going to have to bet it. Your thoughts there, and I'm assuming, right? Doesn't this game just scream performance double all over it? So let me know what you're thinking here.
Yeah, I'm getting the injury report pulled up now to see who's in and out because we know NBA we're talking about. We need to know. It looks like everybody's going to be in. So, I mean, Harden right here versus Lillard, he could absolutely smash. Embiid's going to be in the front court by himself. Nurkic isn't going to be able to stop him. So, yeah, I mean, those 2 guys for their performance doubles like those. I'm not laying 9.5 with Philly, though.
Bro, my projections are just I'm putting it in right now. They're telling me to take it. To take the Blazers.
No, I'm not taking the Blazers.
All right, we'll talk about that after the show. Next game, we just talked about the Atlanta Hawks and the Washington Wizards. That was a fun one, though, but we got lucky when we took the Wizards last time. What do we do now talking about tonight's game? Because, you know, they moved the line, right? It was 4, it's 1.5 now. But will the Wizards bounce back? Zigzag theory, right? So kind of 2 different ideas going against each other.
Yeah, I like the Wizards here again. I liked them in the first game. I thought they could have won that game. It was a back-to-back. It got a little weird at the end, and Atlanta was able to pull it out. I think they could win this one, so I'll be back on Washington again. All
right, there you have it. Travis already broke down both those games from a DFS perspective. Let's go through the whole slate right now, and then if we want to do some general NBA talk, we'll do that at the end of the show. We'll move on, though, because that's 2 games through. Quicker slate today, Travis. And Tyler, that'll be a little easier for us. This game, you guys might be quick on it as well. The Denver Nuggets are -13. They're in San Antonio. They're taking on the Spurs. The Spurs are terrible. The Nuggets are the best team in the Western Conference. The total's 236. I didn't spend a lot of time on this game, Tyler. Should I? I mean, it's performance double or bust, right? We're not betting the side or the total, are we?
No, I mean, if anything, it's just Nuggets or pass. There's no way I'll bet in the Spurs.
Yeah, they're terrible.
These performance doubles are just terrible odds in this game.
Well, I think that's what everybody's doing, right? Nobody's.
Jokic triple-double and win is plus 105, so.
Triple-double and win?
Yeah, double-double and win's minus 430 if you want to lay that juice.
Yeah, no. Jokic hasn't been getting a lot of assists lately. So that's why I wouldn't want to do the triple-double there. All right, Travis, we don't like this game from a betting perspective, but you cannot ignore a game when it comes to daily fantasy. What are your thoughts on the Nuggets and the Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, this game's actually like, I guess it's the premier game or one of these.
Is it?
Games. I mean, part of the reason why is like, one, I think Jamal Murray's pretty underpriced for this matchup. Okay. 2, Reggie Jackson's like the chalk of the slate right now. I don't know what to tell you, but we don't have value. Now this could change instantly, right? Like, let's say Rudy Gobert got ruled out right now. Well, Naz Reid would become a great player. Right? All these like Timberwolves become better plays. Like, it's just we have very thin plays right now on the Nuggets. Now, the reason why Reggie Jackson, why is he popping up so much? Let's kind of dive into that because it's a huge decision point on this slate. 1, he's shooting guard and point guard eligible. That's really encouraging. 2, the minutes. let's look let's go. We'll go since when did he get traded there? Like was it after the deadline spread?
Well, can't be traded after the deadline, but yeah, it was right.
Is it after the All-Star break?
No, because the deadline's before the All-Star break. No,
I thought they got Reggie Jackson in a buyout.
Yes, they did. I'm just trying to figure out when the
first. Did he get cut? Was it really a buyout?
I think it was right after the deadline, Mango, like maybe the day after.
I want to make
sure. I thought he was in the Bones deal, wasn't he?
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna look it up.
All right, so he has played since the 23rd, which is after the deadline, not deadline, after the trade, after whatever it is, the All-Star break. That's what I meant. Okay, so minutes so far: 18, 19, 19, 25, 19, 23, 24. 24 was a blowout against Chicago. Toronto was a 5-point game competitive. Houston was the 25 in the blowout. To be honest, you can make the case the blowouts are good for him, right? I mean, of 2 of the 3, he got that blowout run of those blowout games. I'm trying to see if there's any more that he could have gotten more. So obviously against the Spurs, you can make the case that Reggie is going to get blowout type of run. He's 3-5. He's had it. The key with him is, I bet you if you weren't able to roster him at shooting guard, it would lower his ownership a little bit. I think that helps play a little bit of factor into it as well. So Reggie Jackson in play, you have to decide what to do with that chalk. He does a lot for your lineup at 3-5. You have to find a pivot or maybe build more balanced builds. But Reggie Jackson is in play today for sure. You definitely can't ignore him. I really do like Jamal Murray's price, though. Jamal Murray has been very consistent. The only thing that's unfortunate is look at that last game. That last game was kind of really bad for him. He had that 20.
Don't you think that was like a whole team deal, though? Like, I mean, they won a lot of games in a row.
Yeah.
Chicago sucks.
I agree. I think you should be going back to Jamal today. But to be fair, Spread, Jamal's very high owned today. It's not like he's like, 2%. So, yeah. So, yeah, I think overall you're going to like those guys. Jokic is a good play, but he's like tough to get to. And like you have the same thing with Embiid. I think you can make a case for him, but then you need to apply value plays to him in order to play him. And you have to deal with that blowout, right? Now those raw points could be good, but it's really deciding, do you want to like play some of these fragile values and get a stud, or do you want to go more balanced? That's the real question you have to ask yourself today. So, yeah, Michael Porter Jr., he's one of those mid-tier guys you can go to. We know what his downside can be at times. The shots just got to be falling. Fair point is, though, this is the match where the shots can fall, right? I mean, the Spurs, they're going to give him tons of threes that he can shoot. So Michael Porter Jr. will probably be firing today. The guy I don't know if I really like is Devin Vassell. He's 5'6", but they've talked about how they're messing with his minutes, and it's the Spurs. Devin Vassell feels like a good fade, in my opinion. And it's a tough fade. It's not easy. Like you see him popping the ball at teams. You're like, do I actually fade him? 5'6", I'm fading him, I think. That's at least at this current time. I don't think he's that good of a play. Unless I miss something on someone being out or maybe him getting more minutes. But I don't see – like the Spurs are very much like the Thunder. I don't trust the minutes that much. So I don't think I need to be playing the Spurs chalk. So no Devin Vassell for me. And I think that's really it to talk about. I mean, yeah, you can make the case for Bruce Brown as a value. He's kind of one of those guys that on like – I mean, he's 4-3. And if you look at his last 5 games, 26, 26, 26, 18, and 23. This is not a slate where you're looking for like scores aren't going to be 350 or 400, right? They're not going to be wild scores. Where at that price, I don't hate him as a play. He's someone I will think about playing, and he kind of fits that sloppy game environment, up and down, free flowing kind of game. I think Bruce Brown is a really good play that you should be considering.
All right, Bruce Brown. Anything else on this game, Tyler? From betting perspective, I'm not too interested.
Yeah, I'm about to say, not too interested in the best team versus the worst team.
Yeah, by the way, Spread, get excited. Tua's option got picked up, so 5th-year option is picked up with the Dolphins, so we get to cheer Tua on one more year.
Why would I be excited about that?
Because
you should not be excited because it lessens your chance of winning our bet.
No,
you want for our bet, you want like Lamar to get signed.
No, I don't want Lamar's not winning a title for anyone, but that's a whole other conversation.
Where you guys
think you think Tua's got a better chance to win the title? Because I'm down to do bet number 2 between you.
I don't. But what I would like to do, Spread, is I would like this is how you want it. You want the Dolphins to realize after a year, Tua's fine, but is he the guy to win you a title? Probably not. And you have all the pieces, and then you go get that quarterback, right? You go out and find him. And
Because they're really easy to find, right? And people are trading all-star quarterbacks all the time.
But like when you're that team that has all the pieces, and then you eventually like that's a good for instance, do you think the Jets are set up for good success right now with the way their team's constructed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the Dolphins are trying to do. They're trying to put themselves in a position to when there's a quarterback out there that's not happy, you go get him.
Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson?
Again, I don't want Lamar. I also like.
I think Rodgers has already got his Jets uniform ready.
Yeah. What I'm getting at, Spread, is it's good to like be in a position where all you have to do is get that quarterback to put you over the top. And the Dolphins are trying to put themselves in that position. That's all I'm saying.
Probably better.
Where do you guys think Lamar ends up with all these teams saying they're already out on him before they even start this?
Baltimore. He's just going to end up going back there.
I think he's going to be a Lion.
It's a non-exclusive franchise tag. So if
I think Detroit's going to look around at everybody and go, well, we got all these extra picks.
They can't because they have too much money with Goff already.
No, they don't.
What do you mean? You can just get rid of Goff. You can.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're acting like Goff somebody that you can't just deal around the league.
Yeah, they'll deal Goff somewhere.
I think the owners have all gotten together and they said, whoever the Cleveland owner is an idiot. We're not going to do this ever again. No guaranteed money. And they've all done a secret behind the scenes agreement to not give them the money.
Spread conspiracy theory guy confirmed.
The old man theories are
it's
coming out again.
One conspiracy. When have I ever said conspiracies? I'm the one who says nothing's fixed, right? Vegas doesn't know. They just have a -110 advantage. I'm anti-conspiracy, but I think it could be true in this case. All right, next game. Cleveland Cavaliers plus 2.5 in Miami taking on the Heat. The total's 212.5. Tyler, this is another one, right? They just played this game. We won our bet. So it's another one that we're coming off a win in that particular matchup. We took Cleveland, right? Cleveland beat the Heat. Now they play again. What do we do? Are we doing the same thing? I just feel like, boy, like that, no joints, huh? We're not, no zigzag at all, huh?
Yeah, I was about to say this Friday, just looking at this Friday slate, man, these games are ugly and it's just a couple rematches. But this game, I'm probably back on Cleveland with that Q tag on Darius Garland's going to make me wait because I want to make sure he's in. If he's in, definitely back on Cleveland. If he's out, I'll probably just stay away from the game as a whole. Miami's been terrible at home, but they've also been terrible after a win. They beat Atlanta that last time out before the Cavs took them out last game. Not really sure I want to back them after a loss or fade them again after a loss to the same team. So just a weird game. Need the Garland news before I decide what I'm doing here.
Yeah, if you think of a situation where having Spoelstra is an advantage, right? Wouldn't it be playing the same team, like the playoff style adjustments? And I know we know that this is the regular season and teams don't care, but Miami is fighting to stay out of that play-in here. And, of course, the Cleveland Cavaliers are fighting to stay within striking distance of the Philadelphia 76ers who don't know how to lose. But I would give Spoelstra the edge over JB Bickerstaff when it comes to adjustments. So Tyler and I will figure that out. Another low total there, Tyler, 212.5. Wasn't that the game last time where I had the over on your original projections and then when we went to bet it, the line moved so much we took it off?
Yep.
How do you feel? Do you feel about an over?
Nah, I'm not touching an over with these two teams.
You know our projections are going to tell us to take the over, right?
I'm not doing it. These shorter totals are just.
What was the final score last time? Did it go over or under?
Yeah, let me pull it up right now. I think it went under. $104-100, yeah. So it went under.
Well, good thing you talked me off it. Travis, breakdown. Cavaliers, Heat.
Yeah, so you said Darius Garland questionable. That's going to be pretty big news. Let's say Darius Garland does not play. Well, that's going to emerge some opportunities here for some of these players. I do think it's going to make Ricky Rubio a really good value because he's 3-3 and it's a tough slate, right? I mean, so I think Ricky Rubio will emerge as a value. And I actually don't hate him right now. Like, I don't think he's like the worst play, even if Garland's in, just because he's a really elite producer in the short time he gets, which is something I look for on these slates. Like, if I'm struggling for value, well, it doesn't hurt to get the guy that can play 15 minutes and find his way to like 20 DK points, right? Like, it doesn't hurt to take chances on that at low ownership. So, obviously he would become a really good play then. As we keep moving along, I think, you're going to see the balance route at center a bit today, and Jared Allen is going to pop up there. And it's a tough matchup, right? It's not an easy spot, but it's more so a price thing. Like 6'2" is just cheap for Jared Allen. It's simple. And if Garland does miss, well, that's going to be pretty good for Jared Allen, right? It would just make sense for him to be in play because there's natural usage that'll pop up for the Garland situation. You'll also probably see Mobley then pop up a little bit more. Then Donovan Mitchell would become a really good play that people would want to get exposure to. So, that news is going to be really important. But again, this matchup's not sexy, right? No one's excited to target the Miami Heat. And it's not because of their defense. It's more because of the pace that they play at. So I'm not as excited about Cleveland unless Darius Garland is out. And I do think we need I do think we're not going to have any interest in really the Miami side. And spread, if I had to pick like a game that like, for instance, like let's say you're playing playoff slates, right? Like NBA playoff slates, like a 3-gamer, right? And the Cavs and Miami are a series, right? They'd be a team like you'd look at the game, you'd be like, oh, it's a 2-game slate because we're not really playing Cavs and Miami, right? I mean, it's just a slow pace game. I mean, the spread is 212.5. I know we don't talk about spreads that much, but 212.5 total, like, and I didn't mean spreads, I meant totals, but that's just insane. I think you are not playing this game that much unless Darius Garland's out. That's going to be key. And you could make a case too, Jared Allen, who's gaining some ownership because it's a price play, right? It's like, hey, we don't have a lot of value. We're playing some mid-tier guys. 6'2" is kind of cheap for Jared Allen. You can make a case he's kind of not the best chalk here on this slate.
All right. What's up to our guy Flash? Good to see you. He's got a question for you, Tyler. Jimmy Butler over 21.5 points tonight. Have you looked at his recent game logs? How did you do last time, and what do you think of this prop?
Yeah, he scored 28 in the last time out against Cleveland, and he's in a nice matchup here. I mean, it's like Mobley's a great defender, but he might just be a little bit too slow to guard a guy like Butler. You can't put Mitchell on him. He's too small. And there are other wings like LeVert, Osman, Stevens. They can't cover a guy like Butler, so I do like that over 21.5. He's going to score a majority of their points here tonight.
I think I might have to bet that too, Tyler. Get back for that Mikal Bridges last night. Did you see that?
He busted. I seen that. Yeah.
He scored 10 points in 12 minutes, though.
Did you guys talk about that? The fact that their bench scored 95 points to the starters 10.
I mean, it's kind of a misleading. I mean, obviously that was the reason they covered the spread, but it's a misleading statistic when they put 2 of their starters out for 12 minutes and then put them back in. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Your bench guys aren't usually getting 36 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you look at this box score, it looks like it flipped it looks like they put this up as an error by accident.
We were on playback and they played Bridges for the first quarter, right? And who was the other guy? DFS, Travis. They played for the whole first quarter and then they never came back in the game.
Yeah, I made fun of Glock for it and he crushed, so I'm an idiot.
Yeah, and Glock made fun of me because I bet a Bridges over. To be fair, I bet it before all this little.
I went to Finney Smith in a couple of DFS lineups thinking I was being sneaky because nobody talked about him, and then dude just doesn't play the rest of the game.
He was not sneaky.
Yeah, that I've never seen that happen before, Travis.
I was like, I hear all this Bridges talk. I was like, I'm gonna go get some Finney Smith at 4.2.
Have you seen that before? And actually, that's probably a better way to do load management than having guys take the full night off. But have you seen a lot of this before, Travis, where they only played the first quarter? I mean, it feels to me unprecedented, but obviously you cover the individual players a lot more than I do.
Glock's point was like there's certain players that don't miss games, and when they don't miss games, like Kevon Looney's one of them, right? Like it's like this dumb Iron Man award thing, like where it's like, oh, I haven't missed a game, so like I'm gonna keep riding this out until I actually really get hurt. Like that's part of the reason why.
You see the videos of him floating around on Twitter?
Which ones?
When he was back at UCLA and he was shooting off the dribble, shooting threes, dude had a jumper, and it's like everyone's like Looney. Everyone's like, where in the hell is this Looney at now? And it's like, well, you see, he had a hip injury and he can't really move now. So all that shooting.
Looney's the most underrated player in the NBA.
Yeah, Looney used to have if Looney would show that jump shot that he had in college for Golden State, they just have another element to their game.
It's not coming back, but still.
No, it's definitely not coming back.
He's like the opposite of Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole just gives you a bunch of those empty statistics. And then, Looney just helps you win. Travis, anything more on this game? Or actually, we didn't even get your breakdown on this game, did we? I lost where we were. We're still on the Heat Cavaliers, right?
Yeah, I'm good with that game though. Like, again, that's a good like cross-off game, unless the news hits, right? Like, and this is gonna be a tougher slate.
If the news hits, how popular does Mitchell become?
Very popular. Like, so like if any news hits today, like you ain't being sneaky with it. You know what I mean? Like everyone, it's like spread. If you your cat, it's like if you didn't feed your cat for like a day and then you threw food out, like just gonna jump on the food, right? Like there's no value, right? Like we're starved for it. So it's just how it's gonna go.
And how do you approach these, like just from a game theory perspective? Are you going to be just with the rest of the field there and say, okay, I'll just beat you 4v4, or do you try to get different?
I try to definitely get different and find different paths. Like I call these create your own value slates, where you have the opportunity to actually like kind of create your own values. So I personally like these slates. Like I'm actually entering one more team now because I enjoy it. I'm only playing 2 teams. I'm not MMEing tonight, but I enjoy these slates. So it's like you kind of have to like dive into the mud and like think about some other plays. And like, for instance, it's like, and I mean, so I'll eat some of the chalk sometimes, but like you'll look sometimes at some of these options like John Collins or like Reggie Jackson. They're going to be 2 of like the key guys that people are going to, but like, I mean, like who could be someone that like, for instance, like Bruce Brown's going to be a lower owned pivot that I think you could take a chance on. Not like super low, but like I talked about him before. I think he's not a bad play, and he could leverage Reggie a little bit for sure. It is a good one actually. I really like this one. This is one coming up in the next game that we should discuss. Not many people are going to play Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I actually talked about this on like a recent show. You were talking about how Mike Conley is like, losing run to him.
Yeah.
Alexander Walker every single night since the 24th. 24 minutes, 21, 17, 20, 24, and 20. What is the difference between his minutes and Reggie Jackson's? Not much, right? And everyone is playing Kyle Anderson because they don't have value as like a balanced guy that can produce pretty well. Like these are where you can get really creative with your plays and make a pivot. While everyone plays Reggie Jackson, you go and play Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Like it's just, I like trying to take chances on these ones because you can get a drastic different outcomes. Like Reggie Jackson can go for 13 DK points and Nickeil Alexander-Walker can go for 28. And again, that would be so valuable to get that at like 5%, while 50% of the field has Reggie Jackson on their teams. At least that's right now at 2:40 p.m. or whatever time we're at.
Just a third guy at that price. I know you're probably going to tell me no because he's in the game we just talked about. But if Gabe Vincent hits his shots at that same price, I mean, he's basically the same player as those 2 guys, seeing similar minutes. Lowry's still out. He's going to get some minutes. He can hit those shots.
No, yeah, it's not terrible. Again, these are the slates like you kind of have to hold your nose with these ones and like take some chances. But like I personally like doing it. And it's like, again, look at every single slate. Like what chalk is worth eating. And like, for instance, look at yesterday's slate. Yesterday had a slate. Like I'll pull it up right now. Yesterday was a slate where you felt like, man, like the chalk was pretty good, right? Like I'll go through it again. I have it up here. Day'Ron Sharp was supposed to be good chalk, and then of course he ended up playing well, but like for other reasons. Seth Curry was supposed to be good chalk, right? I mean, he got benched, right? That was brutal. Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, weren't they supposed to be good chalk yesterday? I mean, They weren't, right? Like
wasn't it just the bigs in that game that ended up being the good plays for the Bucks?
Yeah, mainly like Desmond Bane. Desmond Bane was supposed to be really good chalk. He busted. Like, point I'm getting at is like yesterday was supposed to have a lot of good chalk and they didn't really get there. So it's like, why are you assuming when the chalk is even worse that these plays are better? And do you want to take them at that ownership? Like these are slates where I definitely like to get a bit different. Now, one of the flip sides is when you get different, it can get a little bumpy and you got to really, it hurts to kind of bite that bullet. Typically on like slates like where there's good chalk values, I like to eat those good chalk values and get different with my studs. On these ones, I like definitely to get a little bit crazy for sure with some of my options. But then there's some plays I'll look at and I'll be like, okay, they're just a good chalk. I kind of want to eat them and move on. Like, I think Bastel right now is one of the bad chalk pieces. I don't trust the Spurs. I don't want to really go to him. I'm not that interested. Reggie Jackson, TBD. I might eat that chalk. I'm not totally sure on it, but we'll obviously keep breaking it down. And Royce O'Neal is one we're going to talk about here in a second. Like, he's chalky at 3.8. Do we really buy Royce O'Neal chalk? I mean, come on.
Travis, I did all the work for you tomorrow already. Luka and Kyrie are not supposed to play. Just play all the Dallas role players. And they're playing Memphis, so you get all the cheapy on Memphis too.
That's for the live final.
What time is that game though? Is that on the main slate or is it an early one?
7:00.
Oh, that's on the main slate. Oh, that's
on the main slate of the finals.
They just rolled Luke out and they said Kyrie's uncertain to play with personal reasons.
Are you in the finals, Travis?
No, I didn't make it, but that's.
Are you going to be there supporting the guys though? Because isn't that in your neck of the woods?
I might be there. I might. I mean,
you might just be training instead for next week.
I asked JSU. I said you probably didn't bring an entourage, so I said if you have a ticket for me to get in, I'll walk in and root on JSU and the boys. I said if not, that's fine. So like JSU's not the guy to show up with an entourage, right? If we had to pick,
that'd be sweet if JSU had like an entourage, like the show Entourage, like he had a little turtle running around with them and like an older brother that was just hanging on by his.
JSU doesn't want to deal with that. He just wants to show up and pick his winners and walk out. That's what he wants to do.
Show up, get first place, take all the money, and go home.
Yeah,
yep, exactly.
Drink his coffee, and he should probably enjoy the fine internet that your state has, though.
Yeah, I know. Big T actually has a free spot too. He didn't like bring anyone, so he said I could maybe grab it. Then we were joking about Butthole grabbing it. But
yeah, I thought that was Butthoe's spot.
Who?
I might make it there. We'll see. I don't know yet.
Who?
Butthole Jenkins.
He's one of the chatters that like strokes Big T. But we've gone on a tangent too long about this.
Brooklyn Nets plus 4.5 in Minnesota taking on the Timberwolves, total 226.5. All right, Tyler, this is your last chance. You can. The last time I want to hear about that Timberwolves pick on Tuesday. Okay.
Go ahead and bet him again.
No, I'm a Nets guy.
Okay, I just want to make sure because
remember I Nets last night and what happened? Oh yeah, baby. Just like a nice comforter, covered. What do you think here at Nets Timberwolves?
Yeah, I guess they did cover.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Great performance by the depth that I was touting on the show. What are your thoughts here when the Nets take on the Timberwolves? It's not as attractive with a 4.5 point spread, though, right?
Oh, I mean, I'm just taking the Nets money line. I think the Timberwolves suck. I think they have the defenders to slow down Anthony Edwards, who's been shooting terribly recently. Just hasn't been playing good. I don't trust these other role players for Minnesota either. All these guys just had a break for the Nets last game out, and all the bench players ran their minutes. So even the guys that played last night aren't going to be tired. They're going to get their run tonight. I like the Nets money line. Give me that plus 150. They can keep the 4.5 points. They're beating Minnesota tonight.
I don't necessarily disagree here. You know, I was high on the Timberwolves. I'm taking my last L on this team. Travis, talk to me about this team. Tyler doesn't like Kyle Anderson, and I guess we could consider Rudy Gobert, right? He's a max salary role player there for the team. What are your thoughts here? Timberwolves, Nets, do you agree with Tyler? Are you going to join him on that money line?
Man, I mean, you know me. Is Rudy Gobert in? Yeah. So, like, I think I'm on the Nets. I don't know. I don't think this is a good spot for the Timberwolves ever. I mean, I know they played a little bit better basketball, but I'm just not a big Timberwolves guy. So, you're not going to see me back them. I loved them last year. Don't like them this year. Rudy Gobert is going to be a DFS play that people are going to gravitate towards. Let's look at the price on it because, like, listen, I'm willing to play Rudy Gobert. I'm not someone that isn't willing to, make a decision on something, but $7K is a lot. Like, the guy can bust. So I'm not super excited about Rudy Gobert chalk. I'm at least going to call that out. Not super excited about it. I think it's fine. But again, I'm not dying to get there. You know who might be a better play? Why not Jakob Poeltl in this upcoming game? Jakob Poeltl's been crushing. Now, matchup is not going to be easy. Totally fair points, but just want to call that out. Not that excited about Rudy Gobert. Fine. I'm not gonna push someone back on it and say it's like a bad play, but he's just gonna be chalky. So think about how you play him for sure. And Edwards, I'm not spending on today. I think there's other spends I'd rather go to. I think I like those Atlanta-Washington spends a lot more, maybe condensing on those guys or maybe some of these Raptors guys that we'll discuss here shortly or Lakers. So, yeah, not going to go there. Kyle Anderson is popping. That's one I'm torn with because he's going to be chalky, but I think he's a good producer. But he's he's got a low floor, man. He could go out there and drop you 4 DK points at times. And these like wing players could definitely give him some issues tonight. So I'm actually kind of honest. It might be another chalk piece I think a little bit about. Maybe I go to like a Michael Porter Jr. instead of an easier matchup. Maybe I just pivot to some other options. Maybe a Jeremy Sokan, right? I haven't really talked about him much. I get Kyle Anderson has a great projection and all, but we know Sokan has shown a really high ceiling and Denver doesn't play defense. So I don't know. I just don't think I love this spot. So yeah. Let me see. Jaden McDaniels is popping a little bit again. I don't know. I think these Timberwolves are just like, they're not the greatest pieces of chalk here today. Mikal Bridges has been absolutely crushing. I like him as a spend. I think he's a really interesting contrarian spend option that people just, maybe it won't be super contrarian, but people won't really go to. The Royce O'Neal chalk is an interesting one. Will Royce start in this spot spread? What do you think at 3-8?
I don't think so.
Because, like, the thing is, if he doesn't start, like, I think that ownership goes down. But if he does, I think people will just eat that piece of chalk, and it's 3-8. It's again, we have no value. And it's like, that's why people are considering Royce O'Neal. It's as gross as it sounds, but it's just the truth. Like, it's not pretty, but they think he plays a ton of minutes, so that's why he's going to be in there for some spot. He's going to be the guy off the bench, but I don't know. I'm not excited about Royce O'Neal either. I'd rather look for some pivots like I talked about there, like Bruce Brown. I think Bruce Brown's a way better pivot than Royce O'Neal. So, let's see. Is there anyone else from this game? I mean, Dinwiddie's not bad at 7-3 in the balance build. I wouldn't hate it. Not trying to play Claxton in this spot. Cam Johnson, I don't mind in that balance build. We know what his upside can be. I'm not going to Dorian Finney-Smith. I just think there's better options than Dorian Finney-Smith that I'd rather go to. So, yeah, I think overall that's how I'm handling. I think there's some Nets to like. There's some Minnesota guys, but also think about the Minnesota ownership because it's a little higher than it should be today, in my opinion.
All right. Anything more from this game, Tyler? Any more? Maybe some Nets props here?
Yeah, I mean, the only guys I'd be targeting would be Bridges. I'd get in on some Claxton rebounds, or maybe even some Cam Johnson threes here.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Last game of the night. We did it, Travis. And that's what happens when we have a 6-game slate. Toronto Raptors will be in Hollywood. They're taking on the evil empire, the Los Angeles Lakers, tonight. Raptors favored by 2.5. Total's 224. Tyler, I hate to say it, but I don't get it. How are the Raptors favored in this game? Explain this to me.
Yeah, I don't get this either. It's just they're the deeper team, but the Lakers have just been playing great. They're at home.
If you use last 5 in the projections, the Lakers are going to pop.
Yeah, AD is going to smash this spot. I think he can just feast in the spot. D'Angelo Russell's back to help out the offense. So, I mean, yeah, give me the Lakers until somebody proves them wrong. I mean, I know they lost those 2 games outside of the break to Memphis. And I can't remember who they lost the other one to. But in every other game, they've looked great. So I'm on them again here. I think AD smashes. I don't mind the Toronto guys either for some props. Some Fred VanVleet here after his comments. He got the 30K fine for talking bad about the refs. He comes back out, has a good game. So, yeah, like the Lakers and like some props from VanVleet and AD.
All right. Talk to me about this game, Travis. Earlier I said I thought AD was the best spend tonight. Are you going to be able to get there, or should you just go completely balanced?
No, I like the Davis spend. Like we talked about some of these other guys, Embiid, right? We talked about Jokic, like talk about some of their risk, and also like again, Davis is a little bit cheaper. It does feel expensive, but I like this spot for AD. I think this game is going to be competitive too. I don't think it's a bad slate to target some competitive games as well and like kind of condense on one. Why not condense on some of these guys? I don't think it's a bad option here. And yeah, if we're going to get creative with some value spread, like let's see what Austin Reeves has been up to. Austin Reeves, it feels like he's gotten a little bit better. I guess adding D'Angelo Russell is a little tougher. I think D'Angelo Russell isn't someone I'm dying to get to, but I could. Price is 6'9". I don't know. I like Fred VanVleet a lot. That's a guy I think is going to actually crush in this matchup at 8-3. Now, of course, it's easier said than done. It's an expensive tag, right? We're going to have to find some values. I also think Jakob Poeltl, like, why on earth are we sleeping on Jakob Poeltl in this spot? I think this is an incredible spot for Jakob Poeltl, especially the minutes that he might see. So let's call this out. I know the Washington game, he had 24 minutes, but Denver, who plays big, 32 minutes, right? Washington, who also plays big, 32 minutes. He did have one against 24. That was a little concerning. Cleveland plays big, and he only played 27, but that was a big blowout game. So, man, I don't know. I think this is a game where he doesn't see the 27 minutes. I think we see the 30 minutes out of Jakob Poeltl. Matchup isn't the easiest, but I think at 6'9", he's a really good play to consider. Since they play a little bit bigger, can we consider any of these other options? Like, here's a great example of guys that are great creative value slate kind of plays spread. Chris Boucher. Chris Boucher is not a sexy play, but Lakers are going to have size, correct, spread? Not only are they going to have size, but Rui Hachimura is probably going to be in there. He's a guy you can score on defensively pretty easily. Boucher's played 15, 16, 13, 14 minutes. Not sexy, but in that time, 24.5, 15.5, 16.5, 22.25, and 14.25. You're going to get a little bit crazy and a little bit different. Does he have the ability to get you 20 plus at 3.8K? And I would sign up for 20 plus. If you told me Chris Boucher got me 20 right now or 22 on this slate at 3.8, I'd probably sign up for it, as crazy as that sounds, just because of the state of the slate right now is rough. And I'd be willing to take some chances on it. So 3.8 Chris Boucher, I wouldn't say it's the craziest idea. I mean, like Seth Curry was 48% last night and got you 9 DK points. I know every situation in slate is different, but again, I like to look for these elite producers sometimes in these spots that even in short minutes, they can kind of produce. And if let's say they fall into the spot where the game blows out spread, it's like Yahtzee then, right? I mean, we just absolutely crushed. So I think Chris Boucher is in play. I wish Malik Beasley's price is a little better at 5.4. I kind of worry about that somewhat. That's one thing I'm not dying to get to, but I guess on the Lakers side, it's really AD for the most part. You could make the case maybe Hachimura could get some more minutes at 3.9, kind of fits that Boucher type bucket of good producer. Other team, they might kind of shake hands to play bigger size-wise. Pascal Siakam's a contrarian play, but I don't love him. I think I like Van Vliet more if I had to go anywhere. And Scotty Barnes' price at 6.7 isn't the worst, so I wouldn't hate maybe taking a chance there. But so it's really Fred Van Vliet, Anthony Davis as the spends in this game. The spend downs would be Boucher, Rui, contrarian too, and Jakob Poeltl as a mid-tier option.
No love for OG in this matchup. I mean, he could draw a nice matchup against these Lakers.
Yeah, OG's price is probably not bad. What's OG?
6K. He's cheaper than Barnes.
He's 6K. Where is he? I can't find him. That's because he's shooting guard eligible. Ooh. He's only shooting guard eligible. Wow. I'm surprised by that. I'm trying to think because his shooting guard sucks today. That's why Reggie Jackson's in there, right? Like, it's definitely a contrarian way to build, right? If you
always hear you talk about when guys are going down, we go up.
And that's yeah. Go in the mid tier and hope you and the Lakers are the team that can play slot. Like, I like to play OG in like the games that are sloppy environments, right? The Spurs, OKC. I mean, OKC's not like that completely anymore, but like the Kings, OG is perfect against the Kings, right? Like that's like a dream spot for him. Up and down game, fast.
How am I catching strays here?
You guys
we just chose the Kings out of 30 teams.
You just play at a fast pace. It's what you do.
I know. I'm messing around.
So just worry about your beam that's lit in the background spread. Just enjoy the
Worry about your purple flashlight and just stick quiet over there for now. Let Travis do his breakdown.
Yeah. So OG, I don't hate it. Again, like it's a slate where I think we have to I'm not playing as much chalk on this slate for sure. I'm going to eat some, but I am going to try and be like, okay, here's some chalk plays, but let's look for the tier 2 plays that are just way less owned that could be better plays. I'm really going to try and focus on that today.
All right. So Travis is focusing on tier 2 plays. Because it's only a 6-game slate, Travis, we did it. Only 1 hour. Fantastic work by both of us, I must say.
And not that much Rudy Gobert slander for a slate. And we
didn't even mention the Voldemort of the NBA.
Okay, let's not even say his name. Let's go one show without it. Let's not even say his name.
Fantastic. All right. Do you want to go through some of the conspiracy theories in the chat, or should we go straight to the best bets?
Oh, geez, there's conspiracy theories in the chat.
I'll answer this one. Yes, they do. Here's the one. Van Vliet will get attacked. In
hope not. Comments. Yeah, I say we just cruise through with the best bet spread. I mean, I go to me last because I looked at a couple props and there's one I thought that stuck out, but I need to pull up the line and I don't know. I just think the projection on it's high. I don't believe that it's
I
got.
don't love this slate for a best bet, Tyler. Start with you though. What do you got for us? Give us the best bet. Give us the promo code, and just let them know all the great things around Pure Sports. Start with you, Tyler.
Yeah, ugly slate. We're gonna tee me up for first, so I'm gonna look through here. I'm gonna default back to what worked the other day in this matchup. Clint Capella can't cover a soul. Porzingis absolutely smashed him last time out. Give me all Porzingis' props tonight. I'm playing him in DFS. I think he
So
goes
your
off
best
again.
bet is every Porzingis prop.
Give me his points. Give me his threes. I think he just absolutely smashes tonight. So I'm on Porzingis.
All right. Tyler says Porzingis. Doesn't matter what you take. It's going over. Travis, you want me to give out one, or are you ready?
Yeah, you go first. The props are not looking tasty, so I'm gonna figure out.
We're trying to rush everybody to a best bet on the ugliest slate of the year, so you can go laugh.
I'm gonna find a side. I'm just gonna go with that. I'll find one.
I'm not rushing you guys. I'm chilling today. I'm not in a hurry. Okay, I'm looking over the projections right now. Oh, Tyler, we didn't talk about this. Of course, we'll talk about it on the tags. Guess which game I projected to go over? Big shot.
The Cleveland.
No, the Raptors. Game. We were saying that's a flaw in my model that it gives you the Raptors every single. When was the last time it told us to take the under on the Raptors? I mean, it's been
I don't think it's ever showed us taking under on the Raptors.
Yeah, I talked about that in my chat with my buddy, my good guy Alex said, well, so you don't feel bad. Raptors overs are 35-30 on the year, right? So at least it's projecting us, giving us a slight edge there. So of course it likes the over there. It likes the Wizards. You like that one, right, Tyler?
Yeah, I like the Wizards.
It likes the Blazers. It likes the Cavs. Between the Cavs and the Wizards, going back to the two ones we both won last time, which one do you think is better, Tyler?
The Wizards, because we don't have the Garland news.
Okay, great. Fantastic. That's my best bet. Not my favorite slate of the day. If you have like a night to take out like your girlfriend or, go out on Tinder or whatever, this might be it. Travis, best bet of the day, side total prop.
Yeah, you're going to hate the one I'm on, but we're going Raptors money line. Let's go with
Really?
that.
Why? I don't get it.
I think they've been playing good basketball. We disagree on.
They have won 9 of their last 13. They fell against the Clippers.
Yeah, they fell against them, but like Fred VanVleet.
When we watched against the Nuggets, they got hosed by Scott Foster. That was a Scott Foster special.
Now, could you make the case maybe there's some frustration building up and could like the total, like not the total, the streak collapse? Maybe, but I'm not sold on this Lakers team.
I think you're getting one or the other, Travis. You're either getting just the collapse where they're just done, or they're going to come out and bitch slap this team tonight.
Yep.
And if you think you get jobbed against the Nuggets, what's going to happen in Tinseltown? Adam Silver's favorite team.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. I think
I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right.
I mean, again, I'm not using the numbers or anything like that. I'm just going best bet, just number, like just watching the games, right, and seeing. I feel like the Raptors have played really good basketball, and I like that they're all back, right? We talked about this a little bit before, Spread, like. Why is this team fighting? You were like, the Raptors haven't been that good. And we were like, well, they haven't been healthy. Like, they are healthy now, right? Like, they have a good bench. Like, and
is this team making the playoffs?
What?
This team making the playoffs?
Yes.
They're making.
It really comes down to, do you think they can beat the Hawks?
That's right. Yeah, you guys think they win a play-in game and get in?
But also, when I'm saying that, I'm also factoring in you get plus money. I wrote that up this week. You'll get plus money. Raptors are like plus 120 to make the playoffs. Hawks are plus 170 to miss.
That was literally my argument there. Was they're plus money, so maybe they're worth a shot here.
I think they are. I like them against Atlanta, but other people don't. I think we talked about this the other night, didn't we, Travis? And you liked Atlanta in a series against Toronto?
What?
Atlanta, Toronto, they meet in the play-in. We're going to have to stay on a neutral right now because the home court's 50-50, but who would you like in that matchup?
Depends if the Hawks can hit their shots because they're going to box in one tray, right?
Well, isn't that how you would say every single game? Depends on if they can hit their shots.
I mean, it's just but they're going
to miss league, right?
Aren't they?
Let's throw all of it. You got to limit turnovers.
Aren't they going to box in one Trae Young? Like, right?
Of course they would.
Yeah. So they just got to hit their shots.
All right.
So if you want to bet on John Collins and them, I mean, it depends. Is Bogdanovich healthy? Like, I mean, I think Bogdanovich is very important for their success, for what it's worth.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have Red
fully
Velvet
agree
carry
there.
anymore.
Yeah, it's tough when you lose the best player on the team, you know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. At least they got DeJounte Murray to attempt to replace him.
Yeah.
Kind of a muted show for us today, Tyler, but you know what? We've been going so crazy all week. You know, maybe the people just appreciated like the NPR style.
We gave them all our energy last Friday with this group. Will we go 6-0 on tags? We absolutely smashed.
And all week, I mean, our shows have been wild. I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
even start breaking down the slate till 45 minutes in on Wednesday.
Yeah, life's about expectations. Spread's like, oh, it's only 3:03. We need to go another 7 minutes. Spread, we can get out of here now. It's okay. We don't have to sit here for like 15, 30 more minutes. You know, we're good to go.
All right. Well, fantastic. On that note, you know, we all gave our best bets. I'll give out my promo code, Spread15. Become a member, runpuresports.com. Take advantage of that NBA playbook. I got it up right now. What are we, Tyler? 229 and 177 on the year. I don't want to do the math for the units right now, but it's close to plus 30 units. I'll tweet it out and I'll give the exact number. It'll definitely pay off, become a member. And then, of course, you can get access to Travis's special content. What do you do? 3 max and single entry, as well as the rest of the core plays, player pools, final countdown. Really too much to say. But that's where you have it. Promo code Spread15. Become a member. Travis, you're our vaunted guest. We're so happy to have you here today. Give us the words of wisdom to get out of here.
Yeah, you know, enjoy. Hopefully we have a big weekend for the Run Pure crew at the, Fantasy Basketball Championship. So rooting those guys home. Hopefully they get it done. Hopefully I can have a good night tonight leading into that. That'd be fun. So, but yeah, check out all the content over here at Run Pure. Use the code to sign up. And again, tons of sports this weekend. So I can't wait. And who knows, maybe someone from Run Pure can win $1 million in golf. So let's hope we can stay hot.
We didn't